Yourself and the players, you're a bit disappointed after Saturday's game. What's the mood been like this week?
It's been excellent. I've not been here Monday, Tuesday. I've been away on the pro licence down at St George's Park. So I had sort of three intense days of training and leadership course and styles of management, watching some fantastic coaches operate and work, down at St George's. And it's been unbelievable. It was a good time to sort of get away and just focus on just being away from Bury for a couple of days and just sort of gathering my thoughts. It was a difficult game to understand, in terms of the refereeing performance and how the momentum changed after he didn't get certain decisions right. It was a real inept performance, and I've told the players that we've got to deal with that situation and stay on task, which we didn't. We just come off task a little bit. Spoke to Futch and Brassy Tuesday night, and the players were fantastic. From getting defeated, they really come in with Monday, Tuesday with a real good verve about the work. They had yesterday off, and then we crack on today with how we're going to plan to be competitive against Mansfield. So it's been good to get away for a couple of days, but I'm back and loving it again.
So obviously, like you mentioned, Mansfield this Saturday. What are you expecting from that game?
We played them at the start of this. We played them just as Adam took over. I think one of his first games, and you could see the difference in styles. Last season it was probably the most combative, competitive, most direct team in the league, I felt, and we worked on a strategy to cope with that last season and cope with it fantastically well, certainly at Mansfield. But with Muzz now taking over, and he's really been able to bring some players in, it's been an interesting one, because I think he wants to put his philosophy in, which Muzz was a fantastic footballer, and he's been able to implement a more of a passing style. I think he's totally come away from what the previous manager did, and he's looking to move the ball around the pitch. And if I was manager of that club, I would. The pitch is almost square. It's a real big pitch. It's a really wide pitch, and when you want to play that playing style, you can get the ball down and really move it well. And he's brought some footballers in to help him do that. So it's going to be a game that we're looking forward to, without a doubt. We need to get back on what we're doing, keeping them clean sheets and building from that. But it's one we're certainly looking forward to.
Nards and Hallam were out on Saturday. Are they in contention for this weekend's game?
Hallam's done a load of work behind the scenes. We've sort of just recalibrated him. We've just given him more work this season. Over the last 10 days, we've took him out of the training programme, but given himself an individual training programme, and he's done really well. He's been working with John Lucas and Nick and Walsh, just to add to that power that he naturally exists. And we're just trying to build a bit more power into him, so he can keep sprinting then repeating. Something that he's found difficult to do in his first couple of months here. He's had a load of tests done, and now we're really on top of it. So Alan gives us a different threat in behind. He's a strong, powerful boy. Now we've got his power back up. Nards is probably another week away. He's definitely not as bad as what we thought. Nards is knowing himself now. He's understanding himself. We tried to protect him with game time by giving him 65 and 67 minutes Saturday to Tuesday games, but unfortunately still wasn't enough to have him for last Saturday and this Saturday. So maybe he'll train going into next week's fixture.
So we've been up at Carrington now for 2 weeks. Have you found yourself getting into routine now and getting settled with the peer?
Without a doubt, it's a place that the players are responding to. I think my biggest problem is going to be genuinely getting the players home. Making sure that I'm getting them off site, because the gym now. I love, one of my biggest things was trying to get a technical player, looking for a technical player and making him physically better, making him physically stronger. By doing that and spending time in the gym and spending time in your physical development, it makes you mentally stronger. It always does. Hard miles in the gym always make you a better person and stronger physically. But it's what it does to you mentally, and sometimes technical players don't enjoy that side of it. We make sure they do it at this football club. And they spend a lot of time working on the physical side of the game. But because the environment's so good, I'm going to have to set times where I'm getting them home, because genuinely it can impact what you do on a Saturday from your energy levels. So we're really conscious that at the minute. It's something that all my staff are looking at. They're doing the work before training, they're doing the work obviously in training, the training programme, and then after training. So it's a fine balancing act, and one that we've got to measure what workload they're doing in around a building.
So final one from me. You saw the behind the scenes video that was produced at last weekend's game against Oxford. I know that yourself and the chairman are always striving for a professionalism in and around the club. Do you think that was achieved and reflected within the video?
Without a doubt, without a doubt. You know, I think what it does show fans is a match day. It's not just about 3 o'clock. You know, there's a big build up to it. There's a big behind the scenes infrastructure that's all got to work together and come together and click together to give the match day experience for people. I think we can always get better at match day experiences. I think, you know, with Chur and Glenn and Ian Kendall, they're always looking at different ways to get the younger fans in, you know, the younger fans in, to start getting some energy into the stadium, to really, you know, get behind the effort and the momentum. And there is a lot of kids, certainly in grassroots football in around the Bury area and North Bury, that we can get to the games and try and let them fall in love, not just with the football, but the experience, coming to a game, feeling safe, feeling part of something, feeling part of a culture, feeling part of a club. You can get new fans. New fans are out there. We've got to find them. We've got to be creative to find them and bring them down to the JD, because, you know, we'll get the football right. I'll have good examples of football on the pitch, but I do believe it's the match day experience that people are after, and it showed the professional side that we're trying to do at the football club. And again, you know, you've got the mascots, you've got people turning up that people won't see, and they get an insight into the first team dressing rooms and how the lads are. And I have the lads quite relaxed before a game. That's really important. I think sometimes you can be over focused and waste a lot of energy on sort of the pre-match build-up. So we are quite relaxed until about 2 o'clock, when we get the team sheets in and it's official. Then there's a real business element to what we do and how we do it. But before then, I quite like the boys being pretty relaxed, my staff being relaxed, ready to focus in at about 2 o'clock.
Good answer that. I enjoyed that video, by the way.
Did you? It's good,
I watched
wasn't
it. Yeah.
It's good.
After the disappointment of last week, is it easier or is it harder to if it needs doing, refocusing your players when you've had a setback?
No, this group of players, they know what we want. You know, I've been able to drive this group of players, and they're doing more. They're taking more on board. You know, when we go out there's going to be some massive games from now to the end of the season, and I want them to take responsibility. I want each unit, whether it's a striker unit, whether it's a midfield unit or defensive unit, to understand what phase of game we're in and be able to lead in that moment. And that's the bit we didn't really get right on Saturday. You know, we let the emotions of a really, really poor refereeing display. You know, and it's clear to everyone, you know, if these people in that stadium didn't feel as though after 20 minutes the referee got nearly every decision wrong, and unbalanced the whole stadium, unbalanced everything that you're trying to achieve at football, which is keeping a game balanced and keeping a game lawful, one for a better word, keeping it in the realms of the law, then we just come off task. And that's the thing that, you know, is disappointing me on Saturday, that we let a bad refereeing performance not let us achieve 3 points. And that's something I'm going to readdress to the players again today in a team meeting that we've got on keeping our discipline. And that just left us on Saturday.
I know you're a very focused, pragmatic manager. You know, that sort of sums you up to me. But are you allowed, and do you dream of promotion and fulfilling your goals, certainly in the short term this season, or is that something you just block out?
I think everyone's got to have a plan A, but you've got to have a plan B. I do dream, there's no doubt about that. You know, I know what I want, I know I'm focused, I know what I want for Bury Football Club. There's potentially a bigger picture. Some people can't see a bigger picture than promotion. I can, the chairman can, and my staff can. You know, with the things that we're doing behind the scenes, we have got a football club here that that we're in charge of, and that's a business. People who just look at the first 11 players that are playing and think, you know, that's all this football club's about. It's not. It's people behind the scenes who are doing fantastic work. There's infrastructure being put into place, and we've got a real plan of how we want Bury Football Club to go forward. You know, you've been a local reporter in this area for years, and you know, you've seen the ups and downs of this football club, and most probably North West football clubs. Stability is the key to the football club, and steady growth. Anything that's got rapid growth with no infrastructure to support it, it fails, whether it's business or football. And the chair is trying to build that infrastructure in place so that we don't have this bust and boom scenario. And I've been tasked to bring that to the football club, and it's a big responsibility. It's a responsibility I love. So there is a bigger picture than just the promotion word. We set out the start of the season to have that objective in mind, and we've still got that. We're still all driving towards that plan. But what it doesn't do is take my focus away 24/7 on this football club getting better and getting stronger and moving forward. You know, moving forward. If you, like I said, if you do it at the wrong rate and try and get somewhere too fast, it all unravels.
Your experience, because you've done it before with Keith at Rochdale, does that help? You've done it, you know, you've done the promotion before.
Yeah, I think that's the momentum, that's the emotional side, that's the side that it's what you're in control of. You know, I never have a problem with. I felt on Saturday as though the control to get 3 points was taken out of our control somewhat, and you know, there's potential where my players got involved in a couple of incidents, one after the penalty and then towards the end of the game. But again, if that's refereed right, then them situations don't happen, and that's a game of football can be won and lost on something that you're not in control of, and that does gripe me. It does. You know, I'm doing in a few weeks with Premiership referee Lee Mason. You know, me and Keith are doing a sponsored night, and we're trying to raise funds for the Referees Association to sponsor some young referees. I'm trying to help the Referees Association improve, you know, in different things that I'm doing. Obviously, I'm heavily involved in grassroots, and I see what these guys do. So it's a massive part of our lives to get the refereeing right, and it's something that I possibly go on quite a lot because I do care about the state of football in this country, and I do care that, you know, managers are losing their jobs. And again, that concerns me. So I think we've all got to be responsible. We can't just turn our back and sweep it under a carpet and say that it doesn't exist. It does exist. It's existing in the Premiership, where it's highlighted more. But come down to League Two and see how it's affecting League Two managers. And it really is. You know, the Referees Association is aware of it. But what can we do with a new Sky money that's coming to the table? Why is not that? Why is some of that not coming down to our level to make professional referees? Why can't we have analysis equipment in that room after to get some answers after a game, so we can come out to the media and say, right, we've got an answer today, this is it. That's how you learn. That's how you learn and get better, and us as a nation get better. The fans want better referees, the media does, the managers certainly do, and the players do. And it's a massive worry for me, because I believe they've got people in the system that can make it better, but we haven't got the funding. We have not got the funding. The Referee Association haven't got the funding, and they haven't got the support to train referees. I'm on my pro licence at the minute, and you know, it's costed. It's a lot of funding to go on it. You've got Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, you've got Mark Burton. You know, we had a talk off Gary Neville the other day. You've got Phil Neville on the course. These are incredibly experienced people, but it's at St George's Park. It's an 18-month learning, 325 hours learning experience to become a better manager or a better leader. So you can only do it by funding. We've got an incredible centre down at St George's where, you know, we can have professional referees developed, and we've got to tap into it, because it's the FA's problem, and we've got to support it.
I've got two more questions. I'll ask you about Mansfield in a minute, but just on that subject, and a more general question, I don't mean this specifically about Bury, but there's been an accusation by some pundits that there's more cheating and diving and this sort of thing affecting our game at the moment. You talked about referees. This is the other way, the sort of outside criticism of footballers. Now, I don't know, it might be different at this level and it might be different at the Premier League level, but do you see an increase in that? Are players being less honest?
League Two and in League One, they're fantastic leagues because you've got a real British, a real big British mass of players in there, and I think we've all been brought up, you know, that certainly I did, that you know, you got smashed, you got kicked, but my dad always taught me, don't show your hurt, do not show your hurt, because if you do, you're showing weakness. And that's probably an English mentality, British mentality. If we lose that, then that's our characteristics, that's our keystone value of what an Englishman or a British person represents for me. And if we lose that, then we're going down a dangerous road. So I think that's a character thing. And you know, I'm big on that at this football club. I work in the academy. I tell my players to bounce up, get up straight away. You know, Danny Mayer is someone who all teams are trying to target at the minute, and what you've got is on Danny Mayer is 5 or 6 different players trying to maim him, which I saw on Saturday. McDonald, it's a red card, it's a 2-footed tackle, air ball that smashes him in the tunnel. You know, he's got told that he's going to get smashed from pillar to post. That was our manager was trying to, you know, win a game of football for us. So yeah, I suppose it can creep into this level. I can't stand it. You know, Danny Mayer, I just tell him all the time, I don't even want my physio to go on, because I think at times that shows us that we're sign of weakness, whereas the physio goes on sometimes to try and slow the game down or kill the game or kill the time. I understand it in the last 10 minutes, I really do. Gamesmanship, slowing things down, but we've had teams come at the start of a game slowing things down, and I think again it's up to the referee to quicken things up, to, you know, make a quick booking after 5 minutes for time wasting. That's how you get control as a referee of the football match. You've got tactical timeouts. There's one team in our league that do tactical timeouts to get information on, and people will go down with head injuries. And it's dangerous, because if someone goes down with a real head injury, then we've got a real problem, you know, of the boy that cried wolf. So I can't stand it, something creeping in that's ugly. The game last night I watched, I don't know, I loved watching what PSG did, or I'd have probably turned it off at some point, because it was getting to a point where everything was contrived. You know, it was almost contrived, every single situation last night, and I didn't enjoy watching that, you know. But what I did enjoy watching is a PSG team that stuck to the principles, stuck to task, and outpassed and out-controlled. You know, arguably the most physical team in the Premiership. So I am praying that it doesn't come down to our level, but again, it's about the coaches. The coaches give direction, the coaches and managers tell players what to do, and I love a game where we're winning football matches on the back of being good at what you do and not trying to, you know, maim and hurt players and time waste. But it's certainly coming into it is coming into the game.
And just one final question about Mansfield. Just a few thoughts on them, really.
You know, they're fighting for their lives, which you know, we see down at the bottom of the league. It's probably earlier than ever, because you know, quite a few teams have got themselves into trouble. But you know, I think they made the switch pretty pragmatic. You know, when they did it and got Muzzer in charge, I think they had a plan. It was the chairman's choice, and they got him in. They've been able to support him with plenty of money by bringing in you know, some good players. And but he's brought a different style of player in, and they're a team that now like to get it down. They like to move the ball, and the possession stats are certainly up from what they were last season and early part of this season. So you know, it's good to see another young manager cutting his teeth. I think it's fantastic that, you know, we can see that in League Two. And that he'll get support. I think sometimes a young league manager gets thrown in and doesn't get the support from his owner financially, and you know, almost they're doing it as a favour. I don't think this is the case. I think that, you know, the owner's seen something in Muzz to make him support him financially and emotionally, and you know, I think Mansfield this season and next season could become quite a force because it's